Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Bob. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I am an urban explorer. You can find me on social media and Instagram at Detroit Unseen. Before we get started on today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a series of videos that I'm going to be working on called Once Abandoned. The videos that I'm going to be working on are going to be showcasing buildings and locations that were once abandoned that have been either demolished, renovated, or restored. So the location that I want to show you today is actually the Tiger Rug House. The Tiger Rug House was a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom family home, single family home, built in 1930. It was built in the Catskill Mountain region of upstate New York, and Roscoe, New York. Little town village called Roscoe, New York. This house, single family home, was absolutely incredible, and to this day is one of my favorite houses that I've actually ever explored and photographed. And the reason for that is there was so much that was left behind from the family that had lived there. And I've heard rumors and rumblings over the years of what had happened. The owner had passed away, and then it was put up for sale, but the daughter would still kind of keep an eye on it, but I don't think she lived locally, so I think she lived out of state. So it fell into disrepair a little bit as it was not being purchased and remained for sale. So I was able to explore it and photograph it in 2018 when it was absolutely in its prime. When you go inside, literally all antique furniture, a lot of old medical supplies, a lot of old musical instruments, photographs, furniture, paintings, posters, all sorts of things. And I'll kind of talk about each one of these areas. When you came into the house, you came into the through the back door, which would come into this back room, which was actually loaded with antiques. There was a harp, a musical instrument harp, there was some percussions, and then there was also a record player that sat in the corner. And it was absolutely just incredible, these musical instruments and the record player, because they were antiques. So that kind of caught you right away. You know, you're like, oh my gosh, stuff is still in here. This is so cool. And you're kind of looking at it and you're photographing it. And then you make your way into the next room, and there was the Tiger Rug, hence the name Tiger Rug House. There was an actual rug made of tiger skin. And there was a little one actually in that other room next to the musical instruments. So there's actually 2 tiger rugs. One was large, one was small. In the one room with the large tiger rug was the living room. There was paintings still on the walls. I think one of the paintings was like a little girl. There was some really bright green paint on the living room walls, and the furniture kind of matched that. That was bright green. And then you had big chairs, lounge chairs, an ottoman, just all sorts of books in the bookshelf, and a doll next to the TV and the chair, all still set up like these people had literally just gotten up and left. So then you cross over the stairway and you're in the dining room. And the dining room had this massive wooden table. Might have been oak or something. It was huge and it was beautiful, with another painting and 2 twin lights and an old antique clock, and yet another record player over on the other side of the dinner table. And that record player was another antique. And that record player also had all the vinyl with it. Incredible stuff. Old record, old vinyl, amazing. Fun to look through too. As you went from the dining room, you made your way into the kitchen. In the kitchen, it was incredible because there was photographs from the family and the children or the grandchildren still on the cupboards and on the refrigerator, stuff still in the refrigerator. There was a little table in a corner, and all the paint was peeling around the table. It was absolutely incredible. and not vandalized and not trashed. I mean, sure, there was some debris scattered everywhere, but overall the place was pretty clean and pretty decent, besides the paint peel and some of the dust and debris on the floor. Then you would go back out into that main entrance and you'd go upstairs, and there was the bedrooms upstairs. And the one bedroom was probably for a little girl, I would imagine. It was bunk beds, so maybe 2 little girls or 2 kids anyways. And this, what was really cool about this, there was still posters on the wall from like the 90s. Leonardo DiCaprio was on the wall. And I think like the Backstreet Boys or NSYNC or something like that was on the other wall. Like all these posters were still hanging in this bedroom, and the bed was made and still had stuffed animals still on the bed. Everything like that. Absolutely cool to see. Then you made your way into a couple of the other bedrooms, which also were, I think one was a guest bedroom and it had 2 beds in there, which was kind of cool. And then there was another bedroom that was, had some cool furniture in it as well, including a suitcase on the bed, stuffed animal on the bed, a dresser full of pictures and all sorts of stuff. I think there was like perfume bottles, clothes. Then you made your way into the master bedroom. And this bedroom was very unique because what I understood later was the person that had been living there was elderly or sick or a doctor. I've heard a couple different things. So there was a bunch of old medical supplies in a cabinet with old scales and oxygen tanks and all sorts of different medical supplies, and even had like a hospital type bed in there. So the thing about it was, you literally could go through and see that some of this equipment was extremely old and antique. And just exploring that and reading some of the stuff and taking photographs of some of the old medications and things. The cabinet itself was vintage. All the medications were in. It was incredible. You just don't see things like that all the time. So it really stands out in my mind that master bedroom was almost like a doctor's office in a sense, with as much stuff as that was in there. It was absolutely incredible to explore that place. So what happened was, shortly after exploring it, I believe it was that same year, later 2018, the house eventually sold, and they came through and cleaned out the entire house. So it is empty now. It's completely empty. The house is still there, but unfortunately the inside is completely empty now. So that wraps up the Tiger Rug House on the Once Abandoned series. I really truly hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a comment and subscribe. Appreciate the love and support. Hope you all have a good one.